Old Janitor Joe was mopping the marble floor when he stopped. Red streak, fresh blood. 30 years ago, he would have known right away. Arterial blood. Someone was badly hurt. He glanced around. He was alone on the night shift, or so he thought. A shadow moved at the end of the hallway. Joe's hand went to his hip automatically, but there was no gun. Hadn't been for 30 years. Welcome to Forgotten Warriors. Before we begin, tell us in the comments what state you're watching from. And if you believe retired heroes are still on duty, subscribe. Because some detectives may give up their badge, but they never give up their instincts. Chicago, downtown. Preston Towers, 45 floors. Luxury office building. Lawyers, accountants, consultants. Thousands of people during the day. At night, just security and cleaning crew. Joseph Joe Miller was 68 years old. Been cleaning this building for 15 years. Before that, people didn't ask. Joe didn't tell. The past was in the past. Everyone liked Joe. Always smiling, always saying good morning. Helped the young folks, carried heavy boxes. Sometimes gave forgotten food from desks to the homeless. Good-hearted old man. That night started like any other. Joe came to work at 10 in the evening. First the ground floor, then up. He knew every floor, every corner, every room. Past midnight now. 37th floor. Executive level. Big offices, meeting rooms. Joe was mopping the marble floors. Then he saw it. Blood. Fresh. Bright red. Still wet. Joe stopped. The mop slicked from his hand. 30 years. Hadn't seen blood in 30 years. At least not like this. He bent down, examined the trail. Small drops, but regular. Someone was walking and bleeding. And this wasn't normal blood. The color, the consistency, arterial blood. Joe knew it well. Too well. He straightened up, looked around. Silence. Just the air conditioning hum. But Joe listened. Really listened. Like 30 years ago. He followed the trail. It led to the elevator. Then suddenly turned left, toward the fire stairs. Joe's heart sped up. Someone wounded in the fire stairs. Why not use the elevator? Why not call for help? The answer was simple. They were running. Joe looked at his phone. Should call 911? But what if he was wrong? What if he was overreacting? Paranoid old janitor. No, he should check first. He walked toward the fire exit. The door was cracked open. More blood on the stairs. Joe opened the door, listened. Sounds from above. Breathing. Heavy, raspy breathing. Anyone there? He called out. It's Joe, the janitor. If you need help. The sound stopped. Then footsteps. Going up. Running. Joe hesitated. He was 68. His knees hurt. His back was stiff. But Detective Joseph Miller never gave up. And he was still in there. Somewhere. He started climbing the stairs. Blood on every step. Who could still move while bleeding this much? 40th floor. 41st floor. Joe was out of breath, but not stopping. Still sounds from above. On the 42nd floor, the sound changed. A thud, then a groan. Joe hurried. Used his last strength to climb the stairs. The 42nd floor door was open. He stepped into the hallway. Blood trail continued. Turned the corner and a man was lying on the floor. Young. Maybe 25. In a suit. His left side soaked in blood. Help, the man whispered. Please. Joe rushed over. Dropped to his knees. Checked the wound. Knife wound. Deep. Dangerous. Stay calm, Joe said. Took off his jacket, pressed it against the wound. What's your name? David. David Chen. Okay, David. I'm calling an ambulance. Who did this? David's eyes filled with fear. He's still here. Joe froze. What? He followed me, still in the building. That's when Joe heard it. From the end of the hallway. Footsteps. Slow, measured. Joe stood up. Had to protect David. But how? No gun. Nothing. No. Wrong. He had something. 30 years of experience. David, can you move? Don't think so. Okay, stay here. Don't make a sound. Joe went into the hallway. The footsteps were getting closer. He ducked into a room. Dark inside. Hid behind the door. Footsteps approached. Stopped. Period. David? A voice. Cold. Calm. Where are you, David? We're not done talking. Joe recognized that tone. A killer's voice. Emotionless. Determined. The man walked toward where David lay. Joe came out from behind. Silently. 30 years of age. Vanished in an instant. Just as the man reached David, Joe attacked. Shoulder tackle. Old school. The man lost balance. Fell. The knife flew from his hand. But the man was fast. Rolled. Got up. Turned to Joe. Who the hell are you, old man? Joe took his stance. Police stance. Your nightmare. The man laughed. Crazy old fool. Playing hero? He attacked. Fast. Wild. But Joe was ready. Dodged to the side. Caught the man's arm. Twisted. Classic hold. But he was old. Not strong enough. The man broke free. Pushed Joe. Joe hit the wall. I'll kill you, Gramps, then finish my job. Joe got up. His knees were shaking, but his eyes were different. I'm Detective Joseph Miller, Chicago Police, he said. 30 years on the force. Caught over 200 killers. And you? He smiled. You're an amateur. The man attacked again. This time Joe was ready. Caught the man's arm. Spun. Threw him down. Knee on his back. Don't move. It's over. But the man was strong. He moved. Threw Joe off. Both got to their feet. You're old, the man said. Slow. Maybe, said Joe. But you forgot something. What? Joe smiled. I'm not alone. Behind the man, David appeared, barely standing, but holding a fire extinguisher. Whack! The man crumpled to the floor. Joe looked at David, breathing hard. Nice swing, kid. Are you really police? Retired, long time ago. Joe pulled out his phone. 911, Preston Towers, 42nd floor. 2 injured, 1 attacker down. Send ambulance and police. 20 minutes later, the building was full of police and medical teams. David was put on a stretcher. The attacker was handcuffed. Detective Sarah Martinez approached Joe. You're Joe Miller. Security told me about you. Yes. We need your statement. But first, she paused. Thank you. You saved that young man's life. Joe shrugged. Just in the right place at the right time. Martinez looked at Joe carefully. I watched the security footage. Those moves. You're trained. Okay? Joe smiled. I watch a lot of old movies. Martinez wasn't convinced. Well, Mr. Miller, you're pretty good for a janitor. Joe went back to his cleaning cart. Everyone has a story, Detective. Mine's just long. The next morning, it hit the news. Hero janitor saves life. Joe didn't do interviews, didn't want cameras. But someone found him. Commissioner Michael Brooks, Joe's old partner. Joe, is it really you? After 30 years, 2 old partners hugged. Saw the news, Brooks said. Still got it. Luck, said Joe. Just luck. Brooks laughed. Joe Miller and luck. still telling the same lies. They sat in a coffee shop, had coffee, talked about old times. "Why'd you leave, Joe? Really, why?" Joe looked at his coffee. "The Thompson case." Brooks' face darkened. "That wasn't your fault. Couldn't save the little girl, Mike. 7 years old. I caught the killer, but—" and his voice broke. "Too late. Joe and saw her every night, in my nightmares. 'Why didn't you save me, Detective Joe?' she'd say. Couldn't take it." Brooks put his hand on Joe's shoulder. "You saved hundreds, Joe. Hundreds. But not her." Silence. Then Brooks spoke. "Last night you saved a life. David Chen, 25 years old, his whole life ahead." Joe looked up. "Maybe," said Brooks, "maybe this is your second chance. Redemption." Joe thought about it, remembered David's face, scared but hopeful. "Maybe," he said finally. That evening, Joe went to work. Same as always. But something was different. His walk was straighter, his eyes more alive. Security guard Tom saw him. "Joe, heard about yesterday. Way to go." Joe smiled. "Just did my job, Tom." "Job? I think it was more than that." Joe pushed his cleaning cart. But Tom was right. This wasn't just a job. It was duty. Always had been. When he got to the 37th floor that night, the bloodstains were cleaned. But Joe could still see them. Always would. His phone rang. Unknown number. "Mr. Miller, this is David Chen, calling from the hospital." "David, how are you, son?" "I'm good, thanks to you. I wanted to thank you." "No need, David." "There is. You're not just a janitor. I don't know who you are, but you're a hero." Joe's eyes got wet. "I'm not a hero, David. Just what?" "Just an old man trying to do the right thing." David laughed, even though it hurt. "Then the world needs more old men, Mr. Miller." The call ended. Joe looked out the window. Chicago sparkled. Millions of people, millions of stories. And somewhere, right now, someone needed help. Joe went back to his cleaning cart. Had work to do. But it wasn't just cleaning anymore. It was duty, still. Walking down the hallway, he muttered, "Once a cop, always a cop." And he was right. The badge might be gone. The gun, the authority, everything. But the detective inside, still there. Waiting, watching, protecting. Near dawn, when his shift ended, Joe checked the building one last time. Everything was quiet, safe. Driving home as the sun rose, he was tired, old, but for the first time in 30 years, at peace. Because last night, he'd saved a life. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. At home, he left flowers at his wife's grave. "I did the right thing, Ellen," he whispered, finally. And for the first time in years, he didn't think about the little girl from the Thompson case. He thought about David. Living, breathing David. Maybe Brooks was right. Maybe this was a second chance. Joe Miller slept. And for the first time in 30 years, no nightmares. Just peace.